Curse of Bailu. It's something that I wouldn't even wish upon my worst enemy. And if you follow a lot of Honkai Star Rail creators, there's one particular man in the community going around cursing every creator's account and cursing them with Bailu. But today in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about whether Bailu is a bad unit or whether she could actually be amazing. And if you've unfortunately fallen victim to the Curse of Bailu, then maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. If you've been around on my channel long enough, you know that my 50-50 luck is absolutely terrible. Whether it's on Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact, it doesn't matter. It seems like the gacha gods absolutely hate me, and that's why I also too am a victim of the Curse of Bailu, and actually more than once. And actually it happened recently whenever I was pulling for Acheron. I lost my 50-50 and ended up with Bailu. And the same goes for her light cone too. I was pulling on the standard banner and I ended up getting her light cone again, leaving me with her light cone at super imposition 2, which is kind of insane. But although many people may not be happy with Bailu, I see it as kind of an opportunity to use a great character for pretty much free. But even though it does suck whenever you lose your 50-50 to any of the standard characters, maybe Bailu could join some of the standard characters like Bronya and Himiko as one of the good 5-star standard characters, because she's actually better than you think. So starting off, Bailu is a lightning character that follows the path of abundance, and she was one of the original 5-stars that got introduced whenever the game first came out, meaning that she is still around now to curse her 50-50s. But let's just go into her traces and see what she actually does. So first off, starting with her basic attack, it's a pretty usual basic attack. She just deals lightning damage equal to 60% of Bailu's attack, so you know, it's alright, it's just a standard basic attack. Now moving on to her skill, which is Singing Among Clouds. It is kind of interesting because it's almost RNG, and it heals a single ally for 9.7% of Bailu's max HP, plus 218. And obviously this will go up the more you level it and stuff, so don't worry about the numbers too much here, but I'm trying to give you a general idea of what her skills do. So what this skill actually does, it heals 2 random enemies, and after each healing, HP restored from the next healing is reduced by 15%, meaning that the amount of healing gradually gets lower and lower. But this was one of the main features that people think that Bailu is a terrible character, because compared to many other characters like Huohuo and LaRocha, you don't really get a choice at who you heal, and you just kind of have to hope that she will heal the person with the least amount of HP, because it is completely random, so you have no choice in it. Whereas these characters like Huohuo, you can actually choose who you want to heal, which is much better, because if we go to our ultimate here, Felicita's Thunderleap, she heals all allies for 11.2% of Bailu's max HP, plus 252, which again, the numbers will change whenever you level up your traces. And the fact that she heals all of the allies is actually amazing, and if you have like a high energy kind of team, you can get this up really quickly, and it can help much more than her skill can. But it gets even better, as Bailu applies invigoration to allies that are already not invigorated. And for those that are already invigorated, Bailu extends the duration of that invigoration for 1 turn, and the effect of invigoration can last for 2 turns, and the effect cannot stack. Now, if you don't know what invigoration is, it is one of the main features of Bailu, and it is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is why I use her as a character, because it actually helps with the survivability of characters in your party. And rather than being a character that kind of just plainly dishes out heals, she also kind of protects your characters too, as invigoration actually restores some of your HP after taking damage, which is super nice, especially whenever you think in places like Memory of Chaos where you're trying to survive and one mistake could mess you up, because I think we've all found many times where an enemy actually like dishes out a ton of damage that you weren't expecting. Well, this can actually kind of save you from it, and this is one of the main reasons why Bailu might not actually be a bad character to get after all. And finally, if we go to her talent, which is called Gourdful of Elixir, it says after an ally with invigoration is hit, restores the ally's HP for 4.2% of Bailu's max HP, plus 90, which again will change whenever you level this up, and this effect can trigger 2 times. When an ally receives a killing blow, they will not be knocked down, and Bailu immediately heals the ally for 14.2% of Bailu's max HP, plus 300 HP, and this effect can be triggered once per battle. So if you don't really understand all that kind of long-winded talk about her talent, it's pretty much an automatic revive, which is amazing, and as I said, in Memory of Chaos, it can help out a ton. I find myself in many situations where I mess up in something huge like the Memory of Chaos, and Bailu just kind of saves the day, because if she wasn't there, then my character would die. I mean, if you think, characters like Huohuo, who I also mainly use as another healer, can't do that, and there are many other healer characters that can't do that either, and it's just kind of amazing that we have something like this. And if you're new or free to play to the game, then this could be the character for you. And if we go to our bonus abilities here, they're kind of cool as well. It says invigoration can trigger 1 more time, which is great. We've also got this bonus ability, which when Bailu heals a target ally above their normal max HP, the target's max HP increases by 10%. That's kind of cool too. And finally, this last one, which I don't have yet, I do plan on building Bailu a little bit more in the future, which says characters with invigoration receive 10% less damage, which kind of just furthers her invigoration technique, which is amazing, and it means that your characters are even more protected protected against enemy damage. And finally, for her technique, which could be useful when fighting some extremely strong enemies which may attack you like from the get-go. And this technique pretty much grants you invigoration for 2 turns. And as I said earlier, Bailu is actually an amazing character for a free-to-play account, because I know that many free-to-play players don't have the money to be spending on other characters. I mean, we all get it. We don't really want to pull on these other support characters that are limited, as they don't really look as appealing. And don't get me wrong, Huohuo and Luocha and many other characters are amazing, and I use Huohuo all the time and she's great. But there are many free-to players that don't really have the gems to be spending on other characters. And let's be real, characters like Acheron and just some DPS characters look way more appealing because they do big damage, even though you do need those support characters to do big damage. But this is why Bailu is actually a great option, because, you know, you could lose your 50-50 to her. She's also on the standard banner, and it's quite easy to get her 5-star light code, meaning that you don't have to worry about pulling for a Huohuo or a Luocha. Although they may be a little bit better, Bailu is still amazing, especially whenever you level her up fully. And as you saw with all of her traces, they are amazing. And as a free-to-play player, you may not be getting as much damage off as you maybe would have hoped to. So that leaves room for Bailu to keep you alive, so you can keep dealing that damage over time and eventually win stuff like the Memory of Chaos, which is amazing. And she is super good for just starting out early as well. And this also just leads me on to the point that she's amazing for just early game too. I mean, whenever I first started Honkai Star Rail, I had the choice between Natasha and Bailu, and I didn't pick Bailu, but I feel like that was a massive mistake because she is actually an amazing unit. And now I actually use her in stuff like the Memory of Chaos to keep my characters alive. So if you are a new player and you do get Bailu on the standard banner or in a 50-50, then I would definitely recommend building her and just using her, even if you aren't going to use her in the future and plan on pulling characters like Luocha or Huohuo. But again, not everyone has the gems to pull for them, and they don't look as appealing as some of these big damage characters. And I don't really blame you, because, you know, these characters like Acheron and Aventurine, they all look amazing, and I'm sure they'll provide a ton of damage to your team as well. And as I said before, you can actually get her really easy on the banner, especially her light cone too, which you can also buy in the shop, I'm pretty sure. So if you do want to save up for something like that, not that you have to, because she works pretty well with any kind of light cone. You don't even need this 5-star light cone, to be honest. She just works with any of the kind of ones that boost outgoing healing, and she's just super flexible whenever it comes to light cones. And as for Eidolons too, we're just going to go through them here quickly. We've got her first Eidolon, which is Ambrosio Aqua, which if the target ally's current HP is equal to their max HP, when invigoration ends, regenerate 8 extra energy for this target, which is amazing just for energy generation in your team. And I'm so glad I've got this one. We go to our second one, which is Sylphic Slumber. After using her ultimate, Bailu's outgoing healing increases by an additional 15% for 2 turns, which again is also amazing. You get even more healing at E2. We got her third one, which pretty much just levels up her skills and her traces. We got her fourth one, which every healing provided by skill makes the recipient deal 10% more damage for 2 turns, which just kind of improves her support ability, meaning that she can heal and also provide a damage boost for your characters, which is just amazing. And if you're super unlucky and you manage to get up to this point, then maybe it's not so bad. I mean, yes, it does suck that you lost your 50-50, but if you're getting up to like E4, whatever, you're probably spending a little bit of money on the games, so it's probably not the worst thing to get E4. We've got E5, which also boosts some of her traces, and our sixth Eidolon, which is Drooling Drop of Draconic Divinity. That was a hard one to say. And this pretty much allows Bailu to revive a character again. As I said in the traces tab, she does have the ability to revive a character 1 time in a battle, but this allows her to actually do it 2 times, which could be amazing. And it could even allow you to run a more offensive team and let you do even more damage against enemies while not worrying about your character dying and messing up some kind of rotation and just ruining your whole run. But to be honest, I don't think you'll even need more than 1, so if you don't get E6, it's not the end of the world. Having 1 is good enough too. As for the relics and stuff, I won't really go into it too much. I'm just using Messenger Traversing Hackerspace, which gives her and her allies a bit more speed, which is amazing just to support the characters around you and just give a bit more speed to your team. But there are many other sets that you can use too. So all in all, I don't think getting the Curse of Bailu is the worst thing in the world. As we've seen with her traces, her Eidolons and light cone, and just the ease of getting her, it actually makes her a super viable character, and she can work very well in teams. I mean, if you go to sites like Prudwin and other tier list kind of sites, she isn't rated very high on the tier list, but that's because there are just many other supports that are better than her, but you have to actually spend your jades on them. Whereas if you just happen to get this from a lost 50-50 or a standard banner pool, then why not use her, because she is amazing for what she is worth. And not to mention that over time you probably will get another copy. I'm sorry to say that your curse still hasn't ended, and that in your future 50-50s you may see another Bailu, but that's alright. That means your Bailu is going to level up over time. It's going to get all of those different buffs and changes to her character, which I mentioned in the Eidolons, which can improve her even further, which you probably won't get with characters like Luocha or Huohuo unless you're specifically pulling for their Eidolons. So it's just a good way of passively making your character better, and why not take advantage of it by actually building her? So if you do have Mr. Pokey coming into your stream or your account and cursing you with this character, just remember that it's not so bad, and that although you really wanted a character like Acheron or whoever you're pulling going for. She can actually be an amazing character, and that I think she honestly just gets too much hate now. So hopefully this video has convinced you to actually build your Bailu and use her in your teams, because she is amazing. And even if you've got a character like Woho or Laocha, then just use her in the other team. As you know, in Memory of Chaos and other kind of difficult events, you do often have two teams. Quite often you need two sustain characters to go one in each, which Bailu can be a perfect filler for that. For example, on my account, I've got Bailu and Woho, and these are the two main healers that I've got built, and that's who I'll be using in Memory of Chaos. I mean, specifically Bailu just works amazingly as well. So yeah, why not get on your Honkai Star Rail account right now and start building her? Because I know that you're struggling for sustain characters and you don't want to pull on one, and she's just sat there at level 1, so give her a chance. But if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because this is a kind of different video I have done today. I mean, I haven't really done a kind of buildy kind of character review in a while, and I really hope it's informed you everything about Bailu and the kind of misconceptions that people have about her, and that maybe the curse is actually a blessing in disguise. So that's all. See ya.